Hey, ladies. Hey.
Hey.
Oh, check out Shauna with the Cavs shirt. Go
Oh
ahead,
yeah,
girl.
representing.
Look at
He'll
that. Look
he'll
at that.
always be Cleveland
Oh, my
bound.
goodness.
Always. Love
Oh,
my LeBron
My
James.
husband was Cleveland, but he's a LeBron fan, so now we watching
oh,
the Lakers. So
And
oh,
that's fine too. I'm a LeBron fan too, so
we
it's
got
okay.
his
All right,
fine.
whole
look at you.
little LeBron
Hmm.
section of his wall. He has a curio that has all his LeBron figures, his cards,
Hmm.
and
Nice.
all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Love him.
Ladies.
Love him.
Awesome. Ladies. So this is our double digit episode 10, y'all. Ooh, I love that. Love that.
10. Did you
This
say
is
10?
10. This is 10.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
episode
I'm
10.
Look, I have
look,
my hands up. I'm dancing. Then I'm like, wait a minute.
Yep,
you right
episode
there with
10.
us. You
We
got
just
us.
started.
I know. It feels, oh my goodness.
So crazy.
10. Amazing, y'all. This has been cool. I'm more than cool, just great on all aspects.
Mhm.
Amazing on 50, 11 aspects. So I totally
So
love
so
it.
ladies, have we
Yes.
we've decided have we decided
Mm,
after so many downloads we're going to have an online party with our
yes.
listeners, right?
Yep.
A listening.
Yes, yep. We're still doing the details. Yes, that's gonna be soon, y'all. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how many we'll have by the time this episode
Right.
airs,
Look,
but
we might be hitting it
The
before
party
then.
might be before this.
right, sure. Yeah, you're right. It might be before, so we will keep you informed because we are at about 320 downloads
Whoop,
since July
whoop,
6th.
It was
whoop.
334,
It's
I think,
it was
last
oh
night.
my goodness, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't looked at it. Jeanette's
Well, the
got
Look,
it on
party's
track.
coming
you gonna make me
soon.
pull it up just
Okay,
because.
Jeanette pulled it up. Okay, it was 320 something when I last looked at it, but this is like real time. You guys have
Wow.
been really supportive. We really
Mhm.
appreciate you all, and just getting to our 10th episode. Man, what?
Yeah, that's so
So
awesome.
awesome. Yes, yes. So while Jeanette is pulling that up, today's topic. All right, so today's topic is using your plan A to fund your dreams. And you all know we talk a lot about pursuing passion and dreams. And then we have, some of us have corporate jobs, we're working for other
Mhm.
people, but, looking at the positive sides of that and all of this, right? And
Yeah.
especially in these crazy times, there people have dreams. I think we recently had an episode about discovering your passion, and I think episode 2 was in pursuit of passion. So I
Mhm.
think it's a great time to talk about how you can use what you have today to fund what you really want to get to, and maybe it's aligned. Maybe
Yeah.
I think Jeanette gave a great example recently about working in a bakery. If you want to be a baker, right, getting those skills, honing in on that, and maybe you branch off and do your own thing. I really love that. So yeah. So Jeanette, do you want to start us off? I think you had an excellent point when we were planning this. I'm laughing because you're laughing. You had an excellent point when we were planning this, and I was like, oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and so I've cheated on different sides of this over time, but then like just the older I get and the longer that I've like worked businesses on my own and like been on the corporate side, it's just that it's a lie out there that you can't be considered a real business owner or entrepreneur if you still have like a 9 to 5 or a part-time job or whatever, and it's really not true. I mean, look, I don't know what book it's from, but they talk about like the 7 streams of income or who said it, but just how like that's to build wealth, like you need like 7 different streams of income, and if one of them has to be a 9 to 5 or a part-time job, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, and especially since ain't like the U.S. is giving out free healthcare, so
Bingo, that part.
it's just I feel like it's just important to not put that pressure on people to feel like they have to, because we talked about staying in your lane, like feeling like you have to quit your job to be like everybody else. Like that's not everybody's ultimate goal, is to quit their day job. You know what I mean?
Right. That's very true. And we see a lot of that, and sometimes the social media pressure of that too. We've seen that. And it's not all bad per se or all negative. Maybe their heart's in the right place, but does it really resonate with you? Does it really speak to what your situation is and what
Right.
it is that you want? Nobody should be forced into that. If you're not doing this, then you're this or that. There's so many ways to do so many amazing things, and I think we need to hone in on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So it's I I have a 9 to 5, and I can tell you that in growing my business, the skills, and I like my job. I do.
Right.
I really do. I like my job.
I'm back.
It's a hey, Shauna. I like my job. I do. I mean, it is a lot of it though. It's too much of it sometimes because you get bogged down. But I think it's helped me be organized and really use different approaches in my business.
Yeah.
And it's given me the opportunity to be able to speak in front of people because I would never do this. When I remember we were talking about this podcast, I was like, oh yeah, it's great. And I was like, I froze. I was so nervous like the week before. Right? I was like, so what are we gonna do?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I was like, I gotta talk in front of people. It's like I gotta do what? And then Shauna was like, we gonna be on YouTube video. I was like, we are? So just kind of so it's so it's kind of made me sort of come into my own, but also using those skills, across, which has been really good, I think, for, and I think that could be passed on to several people. Just using what you have, no matter what job you have, whether it's answering the phone all day, maybe that translates into something that you want to do in your business. Maybe it's project management, like what I do today, but I got to be organized. It may be chaos, but it's organized, right? But then you sort of grow in that space.
Yeah. Shauna, can you talk a little bit about your experience and kind of how your work helped you and move it into the field that you're doing now and starting your own business with Nanny Wing Agency?
Yes. So it originally was in the classroom. And getting my education in the early childhood field, and then launching off of that, going out, getting private clients, helping them with their childcare piece inside their homes. And then now I've launched my agency at a time where a lot of families are needing help inside their homes. So it didn't go in that quickly, but you take, like we were speaking earlier, you take existing skills and you just build on those. So you take whatever you need to take from a 9 to 5 or whatever your part-time job is or whatever it is. And for me, it was important to have anything that was going on needed to be, it could be from different facets or different ways of doing it, but the in total, it needed to encompass around childcare some kind of way. So if I worked in a childcare facility, and then start thinking about what business I want to do on my own, which would be within the childcare realm, or on the online space would be in the childcare realm. So to me, I call that on the job training. So you can learn such valuable skills, like Lynda said earlier, from your job, that you can, one of the things that no one can take away from you is your ability to learn and grow and gain those skills from wherever you are at. It doesn't matter if you're working in a fast food restaurant. It doesn't matter if you deliver mail. It doesn't matter. The skill can be transferred towards your dreams. Because at the end of the day, it's all about building relationships. And that's what it's all about. It's just learning how to build relationship, communication skills, listening skills, all of those things. And you can get that for free or get paid on a job training for that. So that's a way to fund your dreams. Sometimes it's not always about, of course, we need a budget, we need finances, we need, to get the tools and the resources, to get it going. There's a lot of free resources out here. As Jeanette always says, YouTube University is always there at your fingertips for you to hone in on whatever skill set you're trying to do. And you can utilize 6 months and create a whole classroom for yourself, in and out your car, through podcasts, whatever it is, to get you where you need to go. Because it starts with your mindset. So the lie that we've been told that we are not business owners, or we are not, whatever it is you're trying to be, is a lie. And what you have to do is make sure that your mindset, you're steadfast on it, that you believe in it, that you believe in it, you believe in it, and you believe in it. And so you want to internalize this. You want to breathe it. You know what I mean? You want to eat, sleep, and breathe it, so that no matter what the noise is out here, you know exactly what your plan is, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Because one of the things that I learned so much this year especially is my vision is my vision. My vision is not for everyone to get. No. So you have to figure out your roadmap and how you what parts of it that you put together that creates this bigger picture for yourself, no matter what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
definitely.
Excellent.
Linda, what about you? Because I know I'm part-time now, but you're still full-time, and successfully running your publishing company. Like, how has the two like intertwined, or how has like your career experience helped you with your publishing company?
Oh, I would say definitely. Yeah, for my career experience, just talking to people. A lot of it is getting
Yeah.
people to open up about the things they want to share about in their books, in their blog posts, in writing in general, and just being, agile in that. So before all this kind of came about with the whole quarantine situation, I was meeting with people in person to try to hone in on those skills. Over Zoom, I'm a touchy-feely person. So having to do client calls over Zoom, I'm like, oh, I'm out of my comfort zone. I've had to get comfortable with that, being on camera, doing all these different things, and the podcast. I mean, us talking via video, Marco Poloing every day, and I
Yeah.
can be silly, I can be serious, I can talk about different topics, but having to transfer that part of the skill. So I love what Shauna said about the communication piece and building relationships, but also being organized,
Yeah, I was
continuing
gonna say
to
that
organize.
project management piece had to
Yeah.
be like
Yeah.
super.
So I looked at my processes for a life with you and said, you know what? Yeah, it'd be great to just talk to people over the phone, but I probably need a little bit something else. So actually, Jeanette, you introduced me to a free tool that I use to schedule my clients, and it's been amazing. I mean, I've been able to do a lot with that, and I even took to learning a piece of that on my own, which I wasn't exactly comfortable, and I had the nerve to put it on my website. And I remember I called you. I said, Jeanette, I put the code in my website, just being excited. So I
Yeah.
want to be able to do that for the people that I work with, being able to show them. And this is the kind of stuff I do at work. I do a lot of process analysis and implementation. And when things go well, it goes well. And recently I had a project that went very well. And I learned from that. And part of learning was the communication, really analyzing what the issue or problem was. So I got to dig into that, and also sharing it with the customers or the users. So those were like my top 3 things that I've been able to transfer over to the business side. And so
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. I know we talked about like owning your greatness and just
Mm-hmm.
really or saying no, knowing your zone of genius. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
is. And
Mm-hmm.
just really like knowing where you thrive, what you love to do, and
Mm-hmm.
how those things correlate with what you want to do. Because that's part of like your experience. So like when you're, wanting to do these new things in business for yourself, knowing where your zone of genius is and the things that you do really well, it will help you in the future. And then also, because I struggle with that, I know a lot of people do, with being like saying that, oh, I'm a publisher, or I help people, I have a publishing company, or I have my own nanny agency. And it's like, but well, I don't know, Shauna, you might have, because you had early childhood education experience, but like for me with web design, like I didn't go to school for this. Like I'm self-taught. But when I looked at like my career, I didn't finish college, but I was able to work my way up in every job to, upper management positions. And I'm like, oh, well, then why can't I be self-taught in this field as well? Because I
Exactly.
basically did it in
Exactly.
field.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, it's that proof that no, I have experience in this. I've been doing this for years. So Lynda's been a project manager for years, and Shauna, you've been in childhood education for years. So I have the experience, and I know you talked about like Shauna, like your portfolio, your testimonials from parents. All that stuff matters, because
It
at the end of
does.
the day, when you talk to people and they want to know like, well, why should I hire you, or why should you be the one? You can talk to how I've done this, and I've been doing this in other areas and in this one. So
Yes.
and speak with confidence.
Speak with confidence, and building up your reputation as the go-to person, the go-to person for certain skill sets and certain things that you're able to do. I mean, Lynda has 2 books under her belt. She just recently published several books for other authors, and just,
Back to back, Linda.
yeah, back to back during quarantine. So yes. So building up your reputation as the go-to person, someone that's highly reliable and just really knows their stuff, and that's free. That
Yeah.
doesn't cost anything, because it's
Right.
all on working on yourself. seeking clarity, knowing your journey, sticking to your zone of genius, being resilient, everything that we speak about on this podcast is what encompasses who you are, what you bring into the world, and what you can give to others.
Yeah, building that up. I love what you said about confidence too, because that was something that I struggled with, saying, oh, how dare I say I'm a publisher, I'm a book publisher, but just in talking about the things that we're doing, in our zone of genius, and we're asked about certain things. I think it was actually Siobhan who recently, on one of her calls, we had a call in her group called the Be Free Inner Circle, where we do a monthly show up for you, showing up for ourselves. And she said, you're speaking so much more confidently now. And I was like, really? Little me over here. And still, I still do that. Sometimes, like, oh, little me. She said, you just talked about creating a whole lead magnet. How dare you not say that you're doing this? So that made me feel really good. I've been trying to just keep that front and center and continue to build on that. So I think that was part of, just this whole journey that, that I've been on.
Yeah.
And taking the small steps, right? And being okay with the process. We talked about that a lot too. Something that I struggle with a lot is embracing the process of it, because I want it to go a certain way. It's like, it's not supposed to be like this. Wait a minute, this fell off. Why is this happening? You start questioning and second guessing yourself, when really everything is happening for your good, as long as you just continue to stay focused and believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing. Your dreams will come true.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest part, is just going at your pace and knowing what's best for you, what's best for your family. It's not in everyone's best interest to up and leave their job. We are a 2-income household. No. We got lots of kids. And they require a lot. And, I think like that's just the thing. Like, I was talking to my daughter, Navon, I mentioned her several times here, but
hey, Navon.
Hey, Navon.
Hey, big kid. No, I'm just playing. But we were just talking about, like, what's her next steps. And she's like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what I need to do with my life. And I was like, girl, you're 23. You're going to be still trying to answer that question going forward. And I read this book a while back by Elizabeth Gilbert called was it Elizabeth Gilbert's book? No, it wasn't the Big Magic book. It might have been her speaking at some event Oprah had. But she was talking about how she was, like, on this whole path of telling people that they needed to, like, leave their jobs and this and that. And she got this letter from this woman that just basically was like, thank you, really made me feel like SHIT, because I feel like I'm not doing enough of my life. Because you know how some people can talk when they're like influencers and make you just feel like, dang, so what am I really doing with myself? And so she had to really, like, take a look at herself inside, and she was happy that the woman sent her this letter, because she was like, she realized that she was sending the wrong message, that if you're not, doing all these things, then, what are you doing with your life, basically? You know what I mean? And it's not enough. And so what she said out of that was just basically, like, it really is a journey, and it really is testing out things, trying different things, because one thing leads, experimenting, allowing yourself to experiment and just try stuff, and everything leads to something else.
Right? It does. And giving yourself grace, right? Giving yourself grace, giving yourself time to unplug and reevaluate and process it. It's okay. It's not, sometimes I used to feel like I was wasting time. I'm decide today I'm going to meditate all day about my week. And I'm like, why are you doing that, Shauna? But I find value in that. Yeah. I get so many answers.
Yeah, you're the queen of meditation.
I'm telling you, I'm writing this down. Meditation.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm meditating before my workshop starts, just so I'm in the right mindset. I'm like, really? I just be like, I mean, check my teeth in the mirror, but like
I want to make sure that I'm present and I am like the best version of myself for the families and for the children, and everything that I do, I want to make sure that they have me. And for me, it takes me kind of like, it's like a brain dumping activity. I need to dump out what I was doing just before that to make sure that I'm bringing the right intentions for the next thing that I'm doing. And so I like to take 10 or 15 minutes prior to getting involved in different projects or different meetings to make sure that I am in the best space, mind, body, and soul, and I'm bringing the best, to the
Yeah.
It
table.
shows. It definitely shows, though.
It does. Yeah, you are
Thank
great
you.
at that. You are a master at it, Sean. I'm
Thank
gonna get
you.
there one day.
You.
But yeah, we all know where we are, right? Just meet me where I'm at. Okay.
Meet me where I'm at.
Meet me where I'm at. Now, we talk about the TV guide. I can tell you about that. My zone of genius.
Shauna, or not Shauna, Lynda, the other day we was on Marco Polo, and somebody was asking me. Oh, my daughter was asking my husband, what channel does this show come on that we all watch? What channel does this show come on that we all watch? And I'm like on Marco Polo in the middle of, and I'm like,
I was like,
what? What channel does such and such come on? And I was like, I don't know. Hold on. And then here come Lynda back on the Marco. I'll be back, y'all. Lynda come back. This comes on Showtime. This comes on Stars. This time at night and this time at night on this day of the week.
She knows who writes the show, who produces the show.
Yes.
If the show is not going to air, she knows a week ahead of time, and she knows what project is going to take the place of it.
Yes, and that is so true. It's a lot of projects.
We appreciate you too.
We do. We do.
That was hilarious. Yes. Again, the zone of genius.
Right. That's right.
Yes, yes. So in talking about big leaps, Jeanette, I'd like to start with you on this one. Have you ever taken a big leap and quit? What was your experience with that, as far as whether it be 9 to 5 or maybe jumping to another business, for example? What was your experience there?
Yeah, so it was back in like 2011. Yeah, 2011. I had been with a telecommunications company for like 8 years, and I was tracking like up the corporate ladder to be, moving into like an assistant director position. And I had went through a divorce, and we had some love and relationship talk. Yeah. And I started kind of diving into like some creative projects, just to kind of like get my mind right. And it was just kind of like finding myself again and wanting to focus on my daughter, because it was just me and her, my oldest daughter at the time. And I knew we needed like more time together. She's getting ready to start high school. And I traveled a lot for like, I'd be like the first one there, the last one to leave. I'd be traveling. Like, it was just a lot going on. And I knew I wanted to focus on her for those last 4 years before she went away to college. And so I told her, I was like, I'm leaving Philly. I'm moving back to South Carolina. So I moved from Philly to South Carolina right after high school. Then I left and went back to Philly for my job, and was up there for like 7 years. So when I told her I was coming back to South Carolina for Nirvana to go to high school, she was like, but it's just such a good job. You get some good bonuses. I'm like, Mom, I know the bonuses they were great. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it just wasn't enough for me. And so I left. At the time, I was making handbags and stuff and selling stuff on Etsy. And I was just like, I'm just going to figure out what I want to do. I'm going to get me a fashion merchandising degree. I'm going to have my own shop. Like, I was just going to do all these things. And I had like some decent money in my 401k. And I said, well, I'm going to do all the things that I want to do. I had enough to cover everything for a year and then some. But I said, if in a year I'm not like really progressing the way I want to do, then I know I can go entry level into any company and work my way back up. Because I still had the thing of you don't have a bachelor's degree, so you can't apply for certain jobs. So, and that's exactly what ended up happening. I ended up going back to work full time. I actually ended up getting pregnant. That's what happened. I got pregnant with Miss Ryan like a year later. And the whole motherly, I support this kid, because that's what happened when I was a teenager, when I had Navon. I got a job, I gotta make sure I'm supporting this kid, and I took that leap, and it was still a good experience for me, because it kind of led to where I am now. But I did end up working my way up to another company, and then realizing that this ain't what I want to do. I don't want to wait till another kid graduates high school to try to live my life. And
I love that.
I was able to take a leap this time, but with a parachute. So a part-time job that it pays great for a part-time job, and me and my husband are fine, but it allows me to do work that I care about more, because it's not
You're
profit.
passionate about it. You want to go
Yes,
after your
yes.
passion.
Yep, I'm really passionate about it, and then it allows me to do my business full time and be home with the kids. So for me, like, I had to do that just to say that I knew that I could do it. And one, because this is what I tell everybody: if you're employable, you're employable. So whether you leave and you're out of the market for a year, guess what? You can find another job. There's a way to get back in, and even if you got to work your way back up from the bottom, you got to do what you got to do. But that was my thing, was like, I know that I'm not going to let my family be on the street, and I'm going to do what I got to do. So this time,
Exactly.
you know, and who knows, you know, I may end up going full time, you know, the heart attack may take us around the world, and I might have to leave my job.
The heart attack will take us around the world.
Now, you knew Shauna was
will take us
Yeah, I
around
knew
the
she was
world.
going to correct me.
Yeah, Shauna, you knew Shauna was going to bring
Got
it.
to put the right thing out there.
But yes, I just think that it's, you know, it's not a bad thing if you want to test the waters and try it, but don't feel pressured to do it either, though.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make sure it's for you.
Right.
Yeah, make
And
sure
I needed that. I needed that year
Yeah.
off to focus on my daughter and figure out what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. You know.
And not letting time get in your way too. Sometimes I think we let time get in our way. Like, if I don't get this done by this age, if I don't get this done by this time, you know, and what ends up happening, and I've already talked about my oops for that year I turned 30. Don't let time, you know, pressure you or make you feel like you got to be or do somewhere at a certain place in your life, and then be extremely disappointed in yourself because it didn't go that way, because it wasn't supposed to go that way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we have to just accept it for what it is.
Yeah, that's so true. I think that's a great example that you gave, Jeanette. I mean, I've been just talking to you over the years, and just knowing you're working somewhere now, or you're working in an area where it's funding, but also you get to pursue your passion. And we talk a lot
and
about
you're doing
that.
it daily.
You're doing it. I know. And you're probably like, oh, this, you know, my company's doing this. Oh, how can it map over to something I'm either doing for myself, or yourself, or for a client, or, you know, just, you know, you branching out into different areas in the work that you're doing. I think that's great that you're able to do that. And how
it's like a perfect fit, because I'm working with entrepreneurs and people who want to start businesses through the nonprofit, and it's also kind of tied into what I'm doing for my job. And luckily, my executive director was very transparent, like, hey, I want you to do your job, because that experience that you have, your business, because that experience is going to help the entrepreneurs in our program as well. Like, they need somebody that they can relate to, that they can see actually is
that is a smart leader to recognize that and embrace that, versus, you know, many times we've seen people be intimidated by the skills and the zone of genius that you display at work. You know, you don't have to go around hiding or dimming your glow, because your glow is wanted and needed. So finding that synchronicity.
Definitely. And I know this isn't on the docket, but I feel like it's important to talk about, because a lot of people are scared to let their employers know that they are working and they have a business. Like, Shauna, I know with you, like when you were nannying full time, like, and doing e-nanny
working on e-nanny link. Yeah. I think there's a time and a place and a space for everything. And I think it depends on the nature of the relationships, and knowing what you know. You know? So for me, at the beginning, creating e-nanny link was a side project that I wanted to birth and grow and nurture without it getting, you know, in the way of what I had to do to pay my bills. And for me, I understood that the two didn't quite line up in sync at the very beginning. I knew eventually it would. So it was more about knowing the timing and knowing when to release information like that, and knowing to, you know, when you need to hold back, especially when you're first birthing a project. It's already so many, you know, there's a lot of negative talk that can come your way. Like you said earlier, Lynda, was like, who am I trying to do this, or who am I trying to do that? You know, you get all of these things going on, and the last thing you need is other people's anxiety to be projected on you, on top of you already dealing with your own anxiety, right? So for me, I learned from a very single digit age that there's a certain time and place and space to share your dreams.
Mhm.
So knowing the timing, knowing the relationship is key. What's key for me?
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, so now of course it's out the box. Everybody
Right.
knows what I'm doing,
Yes.
and I want everybody to know what I'm doing, because one of the
Mhm.
things that my coaches over in London taught me is you don't want to be the best kept secret.
Mm, mm.
The word
Woo.
right there.
I'm writing that down. That's a tweetable.
Right, that's a word right there.
That's a tweetable. Don't y'all forget that now, because I'm writing slow.
I was like, oh shoot, that hit me right there. Because it's so. We're gonna look. Let me write this.
I'm writing it down myself.
Best
You
kept secret.
You don't want to be the best kept secret.
Okay.
I feel like that's a whole show in and of itself about how we feel like, oh, I don't want nobody to know what I'm doing because people gonna steal my ideas and I'm just gonna come out. And it's like, but do you know if people want what you coming out with? You might want to talk to some people.
Exactly. Have a sounding board, have that gold circle we talk about, bounce off your ideas with people. I feel like so I have to say this about the Heart of Chat. So every Friday, I think we mentioned to our audience that we have Friday wins on our Heart of Chat. And we Marco Polo and we tell what we felt like we really were winning at during the week. And it could be so simple as I drank 8 glasses of water today. We don't get into all the grandiose things, but ever since the Heart of Chat has been born, every Friday, all of us are saying all things Heart of Chat.
Yeah.
And when we say
we mean it.
We mean it. We mean it. But when we say it, we're encompassing everything with it, ladies and gentlemen. It has to do with you and your response to us and how you're receiving us and of all the projects that I'm currently doing and I'm involved in, this is one of my favorites. I feel so at home. This is the only space that I can really be my full authentic self. Yes, I could be myself with Any Link. Yes, I could be myself as an agency, but it's more on the professional end of things. This is a space where, I could really dive deep and share a lot of my thoughts, my feelings and experiences that I can't do in any of the other spaces that I'm involved in. Not that I love it more or less, they all work for the good of who I am, So yeah, speaking to that piece too. I kind of got off of the docket.
Oh no, you're fine.
I was gonna ask Lynda for you, because I know you have a higher profile type of position. So how do you manage like the not talking about, do you talk about what you do at work? Don't you talk about it? And then just the fact that I know people have been finding out more and more lately.
Especially on the publishing company and the thing.
Man, listen, that I'm gonna tell y'all, that has been a struggle for me. I've always kept the 2 separate, or the 3 separate, right? And I just never really, shared what I've been doing. But more and more people are finding out now, and as a result of this podcast too, they know now. How about that?
We're telling all our business.
How about that? They know now. But I still haven't done a blanket share, because I think I'm still operating in a fearful sort of space, and that's where I need help. So yes, we bring you this podcast to help you, but we also are doing the work ourselves. And I mean, for me, it's that has been a struggle because of what I do, kind of the information technology project management for a company here in the DC area. But then I have my passion, right, which I love, podcasts, the book publishing, the blogging, the writing piece. I'm still not quite there yet. I think I'm getting there. I've shared a little bit, but I think the word is sort of out now. I recently had a client that I helped publish her book, and it's been amazing. And she has shared me up and down the world, through social media and so forth. And some of colleagues have found out, which I initially, I felt very reserved about that, because it
was a private area of your life.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh man, but at the end of the day, I think it was definitely good. I'm just kind of walking it slowly. It's a slow walk for me, because I'm still, even though I've been at my company, over 20 years, I've worked with, with most of the same people over those years. They probably know, they know me, but I have a kid, who plays basketball, Miles, and I have Maddie, who's an entrepreneur in her own right. But that's pretty much all they know about me, other than what I bring to the table as far as my personality, being very outgoing, the work. They know I care about the work, I care about the people and what I love to do. So that part, I think I'm still working to process that. And yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I love my job. It's cool. It's a lot of it sometimes, but the other pieces that I do love is what I'm doing,
It's
with
an
you ladies.
outlet for
It
you.
is, it's an outlet. And yeah, so still the sharing part, like I think we have all kinds of cool tools at work. We have message boards, and somebody was like, oh, you should put this on the message board, share it in our library. And I was just like, no, I'm not exactly comfortable with that. So I
Yes.
think maybe getting to a space where maybe I won't ever be comfortable
And
with
it's
that. I
okay.
don't know.
And can I say,
Yeah.
Lynda, it's
Yeah.
okay, Lynda and ladies and gentlemen, everything is not for everybody.
Yeah.
Everything is not for every space, right? So
Right.
you got
Right.
that piece of life too. So it's okay to keep it separate.
Yeah.
There's a whole world out here,
Yeah.
and everyone's into different hobbies, everyone
Yeah.
is into different passions. And so finding your tribe, finding your tribe, finding the right people, the right audience. I recently did an event at the end of last year for Hispanic Heritage Month at a place where my husband worked at for many, many years. It was for a bank. And I went in there to speak about e-nanny links, speak about the products and services and what I could do for them. And quickly realized they were not my audience because they were either just getting married, no children, or they were grandparents.
Okay.
So there was like hardly anyone in the, so it's just, finding the tribe for what you're offering and putting out into the world. And there's nothing wrong with saying this is, and I feel the same way, like with the Parenting Lounge, that's an online membership site. That's the audience I have over there is not the same audience that's going to be, I'll be working with in the nanny agency.
Right.
You so
know, like you said, you have to know the audience and know what's appropriate. And like you said, Lynda, you may never want to share it,
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And
I say, people
I'm not saying go post flyers up talking about that you got, something coming out, buy my stuff, because then that's just spammy.
That kind of, that's just, that gets messy, especially in a business and corporate space. But the folks that do know that I publish books, some of them have reached out and say, wow, this is great. It's great to see this other side of you. And, some people haven't reached out at all, which is totally fine. I just, I'm just in that space where I'm just kind of walking that line. And, if people find out, great, that's wonderful. I'll say thank you and be, very grateful that they've reached out to me and, kind of said some nice things about my recent client and publishing her book, which I've been very appreciative of. It's been great. But I guess, it's just, for me, it's still kind of like, now, if I was in a situation like you, Jeanette, where I worked at, an organization that was the goal or the mission and vision of that organization, I would be up and down with flyers and different social media accounts.
Right?
Yeah, that alignment. That alignment.
But Jeanette's living is like, there's so many people out here that want that dream. Like Jeanette is living the dream.
Let me tell you, that's what, like, some manifestation stuff, because I didn't even, like, it just came to me. And I had been so frustrated at my 9-to-5, like, me and my boss was butting heads, and it was to the point where she just called me and was like, are you upset with me? Can we just talk? And I was like, yes, actually I am. I'm really upset with you, and this is why. And it was, and I feel like when you'll know when it's time to leave. Because I didn't always feel this way, but at that point where I was at before this job came to me, I was just like super frustrated every day. I was always angry. I dreaded going in. I was like ready to lose my professionalism and cuss people out. Like, it was like,
it's time to go at that point.
I was really short with my boss.
What did they say? You can't let anybody take you out your hookup. That's what my best friend's sister said.
Yeah.
Let them take you out your hookup.
Me and her was able to have that conversation. And then I don't know, a few days after that conversation, I remember when it was, I got a phone call like, hey, from the girl that used to run the program that I'm running. I'm leaving. I want to meet up with you before you go. didn't know that she was bringing her boss with her, and that they had already had an offer letter typed up and written out for me, like, hey, this
That's
is what we want to
awesome.
offer you. I was like, what?
Yes.
I was like, and I knew immediately I wanted to take it. Like, I knew immediately. And like, I talked to my husband, and they gave me time to think about it. And I talked to my mom, and it was just like, and I was really surprised with my parents. I told you how she was when I left the other job.
Yeah.
Yes. That she's just practical, and that's just the generation that they grew up in. But she was like, I mean, this is a great opportunity. You really can't pass it up. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then when I talked to Corey, and I told him, and I was like, babe, what do you think? Like, this is, this is half my salary. Even though I have other money coming in from my business, but this is half my salary. So this is drastically going to change like some of our fun times and things like that. And he was like, he's the best. He was like, whatever you y'all gotta watch this video. Shauna is tripping in the back.
Yeah, I know. What's going on? Okay, we're gonna put that at the front. Episode 10.
The videos don't get edited, people. So
that's right, just so y'all know.
But he was like, whatever you want to do, babe. Like, whatever that's what you want to do. And when I tell you, like, I'm gonna laugh about it now because Lynda knows we thugs, we're gonna be crying. I was like, I started tearing up, and he said, "What you crying for?" I said, "I just been so stressed out at work." And he was like, "Okay, well, leave." Like, and it was, it was an awesome moment because I was like, I couldn't, the stuff that they offered me and how they presented it to me, I couldn't have prayed for all that kind of stuff because you just don't even think that like stuff like that exists for you. If you can find something that aligns with like what you want to do,
manifest it.
Yes, do it. That manifestation. I'm right.
It's real. Manifestation is real. And basically, in a nutshell, it's just showing up for yourself, and the universe will show it back to you. It will bring you so many things your way, like you said, Jeanette, that you couldn't even imagine or envision.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm running out of room, y'all. I'm trying to write.
I know my whole
watch this video. I'm like, hold up. Yeah.
Don't worry.
I know. I'm like, back up again. Rewind.
I better get y'all notebooks. Y'all got your notebooks.
I'm telling you, if you ever see us, we're writers. All three of us are writers in our own right. You already know we love journaling. We take notes. We brain dump. So you see us on the video, you'll constantly see us looking down, taking notes, typing in stuff, because it may spin off into another conversation that we could come back and revisit.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, especially that. What she said earlier.
You don't want to be the best.
You don't want to be the best. Oh, yes. Well, I'm already going to go ahead and add that to our board for the future episode. That is awesome. That's also a tweetable for those of you who tweet out there in the Twitterverse. Yes. I love when things line up. I love when it's aligned. And I go back to an earlier example that Jeanette had made. I guess a comment she made about being a baker and working in a bakery. I mean, you could do anything. Maybe you're into jewelry and you want to design jewelry. So, work in a jewelry store, get those nuggets, right? Get those vendors and the outreach of that. How does that, maybe it's hospitality. Maybe you work for a hotel chain or industry and you eventually turn that into something else. So many different options. And I'd be curious to hear any ideas you guys have.
Sky's the limit, right, ladies?
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
I know people want their own coffee shops. Go work in a cafe. Learn what it takes to really run this type of business. Who do they go to get their coffee beans?
Yes.
Do you want to grind your own? Do you want people to bring you coffee? And you know what I'm saying? Like, really learn your craft from all different angles. I know, Shauna, for you, nannying was like a big thing for getting into to start your own agency.
The sole reason why I jumped into that was to start what I'm starting right now.
That's awesome. Ooh, coffee though. I know. Speaking
of coffee, don't forget to head on over to our store at the Heart of Chat because we got the perfect coffee mug for you. Yes. And you can always take a photo with yourself with your mug. We love to post it on our IG account.
Yes, please.
Send it to us. Give it to us.
We're collecting all those testimonials. But I'm thinking coffee. I'm like, a coffee shop for writers or something like that. I mean, I could project manage the heck out of that thing. And drink my favorite coffee. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. See, there
And
you
then,
go.
yep. And then, and in addition to just getting that on the job training and experience, like stack your paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk about that, you know.
It costs. Let me tell you, being a photographer is not cheap. It is not a cheap hobby. It's not a. I mean, it could be a hobby for some people, but it's an expensive hobby. When you start talking about gear and equipment and software and laptop, like it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
if you want things and you know you need to do certain things in your business to be able to take funds from like your 9 to 5 and
Right.
put that in to invest in yourself.
Yes.
Not having to go get other people to invest in you and you being
Yes.
someone else, like
Yes.
being able to invest in yourself because you have that 9 to 5, like
because you don't want to be the person out here. I know a lot of people that have worked like 2 and 3 jobs for 20 something years,
Yeah.
and you weren't able to use one of those jobs to be able to fund what the whole purpose of the whole goal was to get the 3 jobs for in the first place.
Right.
There's so many people like that you could get caught up into that kind of a rat race. You know what I mean? Where so you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and allocating a portion of your funds, because you're out here working hard and you're on the grind. You need to make sure you see the fruits of your labor some kind of way, and that is going to, you know, of course you may need to be patient and let it grow over time. But you want to show something for your, you know, for your work, whether it's to go to purchase a home or maybe purchase a car or whatever, you know, whatever your goals are to put yourself through school. You know, you want to make sure that you're out here, and because that's going to help you, your bigger purpose or your bigger goal or the bigger reason why you're out here, that's going to help you stay steadfast on your goal a lot easier. If you're just out here just getting involved in so many different avenues, you know, just to get paid, and you're not doing anything with it to fund whatever your true dreams are, you know, then, you know, you can get stuck.
Yeah. Very true.
It could basically end up being just another another like a second job, because I mean, and I know that that's a lot of the reason a lot of women, especially Black women and minority women, are getting into entrepreneurship, is because they're single moms, they are taking care of their family, and they need that extra income, but they can't afford to be outside the house getting that extra income. So they need to be able to do it on their own terms. And so I see a lot of that in like the industry that I'm in, just and then trying to help these women and entrepreneurs understand like how to like grow their business, how to reinvest in their business, so that it's not, so that eventually you get to a point where everything that's coming in isn't just going out to pay your bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're actually building capital, building wealth, creating savings, fixing your credit, whatever the case may be. Yeah, it's just really important to kind of take it slow. And the best advice this girl gave me, Tiffany Lanier, that I used to listen to her on Periscope, y'all. You remember Periscope?
Oh, yes, I do.
I want a free 30-minute consultation with her from like listening to her Periscope. And I remember her asking me, this was some years ago, like, when do you want to go full time in your business? Like, because we were talking about that. And I said, I would, you know, like to do it within at least 5 years. She's like, that is great. And I was like, oh, I thought you was going to be like, why so long? She was like, no. She's like, you know how many people I talk to that are like, I want to go full time in 30 days. Like, she was like, so the fact that you are giving yourself 5 years and you have a reason for it and you know what that is, she said, then go with that. She was like, it's okay, because this is your timeline, your process, your journey. She said, do not feel any kind of way about whatever your timeline is. And like, when I look back at that moment, it was actually 5 years when I left my last job and went full time in my business. I'm still part time with this other job, but it just, like, I said that way back then and didn't really think nothing else of it after that. But it worked out, and it was like the best choice that I made, not to feel like I had to rush.
Yeah, that's excellent. Excellent. Yeah, we look at people who are blazing this trail, and I think we want to talk about our trailblazer this week. Shauna, you want to introduce our trailblazer?
Yes, so our trailblazer this week is Patrice Zebbs. She is from the Cleveland, Ohio area, and she has a business called Damn Good Vegan. And when I say damn good vegan, I say damn good vegan. I'm part of her program, her meal prep program, and it is delicious. I don't know how she creates these meals, but they are so delicious. She stands by her word. She has a great reputation, and she is our trailblazer this week. I wanted to note that one of the things about her that I found really interesting was that at the age of 10 years old, she said she was going to be a chef.
Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
And
awesome.
Her
it's just,
story.
yes, it's part of her story, and it just amazes me that she, from the age of 10, no matter what job she got, no matter, she's a mom, she's a wife, she has a lot going on, like a lot of other people do in the world. She
Mhm.
stays steadfast on that, and she took jobs that aligned herself to get herself into that position. And
Yeah.
now she is at the point where she's actually designing her website with our very own Jeanette,
Yeah.
and she just had a photo shoot recently, and so she's going to be accessible to the
Early
world.
September, she'll be
Oh
launching,
my
y'all.
Yep.
goodness.
So
And we'll
good
be
job,
sending you
Patrice. You are
shares.
our
Oh,
trailblazer this week. We are so proud
yes.
of you, and we have mad love for you.
Yes, thank you, Patrice. I can't wait to
Love
get up
Patrice.
to the area. We love her. Yeah, so she's part of a couple of communities that we're in as well. So have the pleasure of seeing and talking to her quite often. So
Mhm.
Patrice's information will be in our show notes. We'll note
Yes.
that. And yeah, very excited about Patrice. All right, ladies. So what's one call to action? Something that we'd like our folks to take away. Shauna, do you want to start?
Yes, yes. So I have one. So this is based on just understanding life in general, understanding budget, financing, and investments. So there is, you may know, audience, of a gentleman named Robert Kiyosaki. He has a very
Mhm.
interesting story of how he came about, and he's written several books and been on a lot of talks about getting out of the rat race, is what he calls it. And so he created a game probably over 20 years ago now. I still have the game. My husband was into investment and things, so he got this game for us. And at the time, our son was he was a real, like 13. He was really young when we got this game. So we all played this as a family every week, and it teaches you, like each step would teach you, like life hits, or you purchase property, or you just had another baby, so now you have to give back to the bank. So it's just real life, real life. And the whole goal is to get out of the rat race and to live your dream. You want to get on the dream board part of the game, and it emulates, life, and he was able to do it himself. And
Mm,
so I just wanted to say, if you want to get more into that and just, more into the mindset of how to do that at a time in your life where you're trying to figure the pieces out, check out Robert Kiyosaki's books and his game, The Rat Race. And he just created, not too long ago, they went and created a junior version of it for children,
Mm.
because they recognized that parents were playing the game like we did with their
mhm.
own children. So they came out with a junior version of it too.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Hmm.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks for
Awesome.
sharing. What about you, Jeanette?
Welcome.
I would just say kind of some of the things that we talked about earlier, just to be okay with your timeline, be okay with whatever it is that you decide it is. And even if you decide, I don't ever want to quit my day job, like I still want to do this on the side, that's okay. I know I've been working a lot on my finances, and I've been following people in like the FIRE community or FI community, financial independent, retire early. And one of the girls that I follow who's really awesome that she talks about is like retiring early looks different for everybody.
Everybody.
Retiring early can be that you just don't work a corporate job, but you still have a business that you're running on your own. Or it could be that you just go live on the beach for the rest of your life and you don't ever work again. She said, but if you
Yes,
have
I do.
We got
Yeah,
one.
but Jamila Safran of Journey to Launch, that's what I'm
journey
talking
to
about.
launch.
Oh.
Yeah, so she has some really great advice on just finances and stuff. So I just feel like use this time. If you have a 9 to 5 and you're trying to start a business, really look at your finances. You never know if you might need credit in your business later on,
Mhm.
and your personal finances does make a difference.
Yes.
So but back to what I was saying, just be okay with your process, your timeline.
That's right.
You got to do what everybody else is doing, and do not compare. like where you are to where someone else is, because they might have already put 10 years into this game, you know, and you're just getting started out and you want to be where they are right there, you know, right now. So just be patient with yourself.
Definitely. And I would say just, you know, if you are at a 9 to 5, you know, soak in all of the things that you're learning, retain the parts that, you know, really resonate with you, and use your strengths, the things you've learned, to follow your passion, to start that business, or to partner with someone else.
Yeah.
You know, people you trust, that accountability piece. So maybe it's that, maybe because we all think entrepreneurship, it's a sole thing. I've got to do it by myself. Maybe there's someone you can partner with, or, you know, take classes, join groups of people that you trust. So, you know, continue to be good stewards, you know, where you are today, because that's what you have right now. But maybe you want to stay there. Maybe you retire from there, and then maybe
Exactly.
it overlaps with what you're doing. But just become great at the things you're interested in, whether it be, you know, I want to be a speaker one day. So you're going to speak in front of hundreds or even thousands of people, but using those skills to map over to what you want to do and what you are pursuing.
That's super smart. I agree completely.
Yeah, definitely. This has been great, ladies.
Yes, another good chat.
Yes, y'all got to watch the video though. Y'all can get some laughs today. I love it.
So much happening in the background.
Yes. So in addition to the video, Shauna, do you want to tell everybody else where to find us?
You can find us at Instagram, Twitter. Again, YouTube videos are loaded at the Heart of Chat. And we would like you to come and visit and listen out. Oh, don't forget to join our mailing list. And there's something else we wanted to mention, something about subscribing right inside of the podcast. Could you explain that real quick, Jeanette?
Yeah, if you like Spotify, then when you go to the Heart of Chat, you can follow us on Spotify and you'll get alerted on your phone. And then if you're an Apple lover and you do Apple Podcasts, you can subscribe there. Don't forget to leave a comment and a rating, please. That helps us be seen by more people. Sharing is caring. But yeah, subscribe download your favorite apps. We're literally almost on like everything that you could think of. Google Play, all of the things. So yeah, download the apps, subscribe to our podcast, and leave a comment and rating.
Yes, and join us again next week for another episode, because it's going to be fuego, baby.
Yes.
I love it.
Love it. Thank you, ladies.
Bye, ladies.
All right, bye.